I'm in the car, I'm pumped. I've just come home from my first seminar. I'm 18 years old. Mum opens the door, you're out. Find your own way, make your own way. And I did this video, I believed in it so strongly. And the amount of hate, people messaging me with death threats, friends, family even, messaging me saying, what are you doing? Hello? I don't believe you. No, there is no way that's true. Check it again. I'd essentially just been told that my senior manager had stolen an enormous amount of money from the business. In this video, I'm going to be sharing the 3 most painful mistakes that I've made since starting my business at age 21, just over 4 years ago. And in the process of building it into a multi-million-dollar business, how the blood, sweat and tears that most people tell you come from the hustle and the grind and the hard work, how for me, they've really come from the mistakes and the pain that's caused from the turbulence and me being forced to get vulnerable, look within and learn from those mistakes. The first massive mistake that I made, and this has been a really, really tough one for me to get my head around, is not caring about what other people think. The problem with it is that since being a depressed, anxious teenager in a drug abusive household, I've spent my whole life fighting for confidence. Spent my whole life actually trying to not care about what other people think. And I know a lot of entrepreneurs are similar, where it's not, confidence to start a business doesn't just come naturally. I had to fight for it so hard. I remember having my mum just not want me to be in business at all. Not wanting to chase my dream because she didn't understand it. And in many ways, it was an insecurity point for her as well. I'm in the car, I'm pumped. I've just come home from my first seminar. I'm 18 years old and I go, this is what I want to do. But as I approach my house, I'm living with my mum now, I look out and I see a bunch of suitcases packed on the front porch. And I'm like, what the hell is going on here? And as I walk up, Mum opens the door. I've had enough. You can't do this. You're out. Find your own way, make your own way. Because she didn't like the fact that I wanted to make it in business and wanted me to make money straight away. And from that point, I had my grandparents deter me, and my uncles and aunties and friends, pretty much everyone tried to talk me out of my dream. And I wasn't strong enough inside to be able to just not be affected by that. It crunched me up. You know, the tears, the amount of times that I thought about quitting and giving up, being able to fight for that, not caring about what other people think and to ignore the naysayers was something that I battled with my whole life. And in many ways, I succeeded with that. And I kept taking my confidence to the next level. Everything that scared me became a mission to tackle. And as I started to escalate it more and more, that same blocking of the ears and tunnel vision and tackling fears that really in many ways made me who I am today, it actually started to become destructive. And it hurt as well. Coming across as arrogant and not actually realizing it, having people misconstrue your putting yourself out there and actually taking it personally. And the pinnacle point for me was early last year. There was a video that I put out, and every time I had a thought that was scary, I went, no, I've got to do it. I've got to push past it because that's how I train myself to build self-worth. And I did this video that was a really, it was pretty controversial. And the amount of hate, people messaging me with death threats, and just friends, family even, messaging me saying, what are you doing? And that hit me so hard because when you're trying to put your heart out there and it gets misconstrued because you haven't got the balance right yet, and I hadn't had that balance right, that tore me up. And so for me, and it's been a really awesome experience now that I'm through the other side, but learning the balance between caring about what people think but not caring about what people think has been a really tough one for me. The difference between being overconfident and being grounded confident. And it's taken me ages to get it right, but it's a really beautiful thing to have gotten right now, knowing who I am. But man, the pain that caused. The second mistake that I made in this business has been trusting people too much. I've gone through lots of really rapid growth spurts where I've just worked so damn hard and made such really rapid progress that I've had to bring people on board. And it was new to me. I didn't really know what I was doing management-wise when I first started bringing people in. It was a learning experience. And earlier on in the business, when I made my first real full-time hires, I went from 0 to 17 staff members in 6 months, which was a huge amount of responsibility to take on. And as I started to manage that team, I realized pretty quickly that if we were going to be able to achieve our mission and make the difference that we wanted to make, I wasn't going to be able to do that by myself. And so I decided to hire a senior manager, someone to have my back and help manage the staff and also take care of some of the departments. So I hired someone that was really, really experienced, and things were really optimistic. The person came in and started to take a lot of responsibility off my hand, which was awesome. And we got to a point pretty quickly where we were at 25 team members. And at this point, I was working more than 18-hour days, just hustling, grinding, doing whatever I had to do to just grow this business. And in many ways, something that I reflect on now is that I was growing it too quickly. Just wanting to help too much and being a bit too ambitious. And so even though we had someone that was amazing in the business, I wasn't actually able to fully take care and look over what that person was doing. It was almost like I detached responsibility. And I trusted, but I detached responsibility. And it got to a point in the business where things just started to seem a little bit odd. You know that feeling in your stomach where something feels off? And for the first time in a good couple of years, I decided to have a break. And so myself and my partner, we went away to celebrate her birthday, my beautiful partner, and we went away to Red Hill to have a beautiful, relaxing couples weekend. Bring. Saturday night, hello? I don't believe you. No, there is no way that's true. Check it again. I'd essentially just been told that my senior manager had stolen an enormous amount of money from the business and been stealing money for months. And I could not believe it. I literally couldn't believe it. My heart sank. Somebody that was almost like a family member to me. And it just crushed me. I was out there hustling and grinding, and I'd given so much. And the mistake that I made is that it wasn't so much that I gave off responsibility, because you have to do that. But the problem that I made was that I wasn't fully across things. I should have known that. But because I was growing things so quickly, too quickly, I missed it. And not only that, after I ended up obviously letting this person go pretty much straight away, myself and the team, we were digging into emails and whatnot. And we have huge standards for client results in our program. For some clients, we found in this particular manager's email inbox was some elevated problems weren't being dealt with. So client experience dropped slightly for a period there. And that's almost what cut me up more than the actual theft of the cash. You never expect in a million years that something like this would happen to you. Like, you heard about it, you hear about it, and it destroyed me. And it took a little while to come back from it, but I learned that as you grow, even if you have the biggest ambition in the world and you want to change the world and you've got your beautiful mission, you need to grow at a pace that you can keep under control. You need to be across everyone. And trusting people or giving away a little bit of responsibility is good, but you need to be across everything. The third mistake that I made has been the fact that I've wanted to work with and help everybody. I'm talking in terms of being clear on the prerequisites that your clients are in before they come on board. So for us, I have always fought to help the underdogs, the people in business that are in really bad financial situations or don't quite feel ready yet or don't back themselves. Kind of the underdogs. And as I said, we work with coaches because I have always seen myself that way, and I have been that way. And so when I started this business, I had to borrow $5,000 for the deposit of a program that I joined right at the start. Didn't have it. And then it was a $55,000 program, 50K plus GST. And I had $1,000 coming out of my account every week, right from the start. And for me, that pulled me, almost like backed me into a corner that I had to fight my way out of. And because I went through that and I had so much self-doubt, and I was able to will myself to do it, I almost projected my experience and my story onto other people, assuming that they would be able to do the same. And so it wasn't until earlier this year that I actually changed that. Started getting really clear that people that we work with now have to be able to afford to put enough money into marketing. They need to actually be feeling super confident with their ability to get their clients' results. They need to have quite a lot of ambition and genuinely be in a good position to start. And for me, this has been so almost weird because essentially, in many ways, we now disqualify me. Because when I started this journey, I was in that same position. But the mistake has been projecting my situation onto others, but also the importance of accepting people and bringing them on as a client that are in a really clear situation. And the pinnacle point for me was when we had a few key clients that we'd fought so hard for, given in our experience, what we give in our program, we have our coaches reach out to our clients up to over 3 times a week. And we had a few key clients that we'd given so much help for and to turn around and start hating on the business. Like, not only giving us channeling hate, but trying to destroy the business. I couldn't believe it. I was like, are you serious? Like, we've given so much to you. And it was at that point that I knew it was almost like a sign to start working with the people who were ready and in the best situation to be able to maximize our offering. And that was a huge, huge learning for us. So even though what I kind of just went through might seem like a little bit of a buzzkill, it's actually been really amazing. And there's been some beautiful changes that have come for us from what I've gone through that may have seemed like hell at the time. We've done I think 125 $5,000 scholarships for people that haven't been in the right situation, which has been really awesome. And there's been some just huge learnings for me. I think through the process of almost experiencing turbulence or hate, I've changed as a human being. It's been hard, but being able to get into that grounded place, it's been a huge learning. I've also learned that I was always growing from a place of emptiness as opposed to fullness for me. Growing to try to get somewhere as opposed to enjoy it. And so being able to now take the time to enjoy conversations and really have that extra element of dedication and time for our team and our clients, it's been really amazing. The biggest learning that I've had from this has been to know that everyone's always got good intent. I used to kind of vilify people who have done things wrong and get angry and frustrated, but I've known over the last 3 or so years, the 2 years before, last year and the year before, when I was making a lot of these mistakes, the frustration or hate that I copped over that period was actually quite vicious. And it's allowed me to go, you know what? Everyone's always got good intent. And so that's been probably the biggest learning I've had from this process. But anyway, they're the 3 biggest mistakes that I've made. Onwards and upwards.